Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam, Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambam, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Paryandam, Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sagana Bhavatu, Sagana Punattu, Sagaviryam Karavavake, Tejasvina Vadidamastumavat Vishavake. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacham, Malam Sairasya Cha Vaityakena, Yopa Karotam Pravaram Muninam, Patanjalim, Pranjalim, Manatosmi. Good morning. So we are, in the last class, we saw the Sutra 27 and the Samadhipada. Tasya Vachaka, Pranavaha. And we asked the question to the Guru, what is the name of the Ishvara? If I need to bring in the Ishvara Pranidhanam. What is Ishvara Pranidhanam? Ishvara Pranidhanam is having the presence of God in our life. So bringing the God to us means naturally we want to call him, call her. So therefore we need a name. So the Guru said the name is Pranava, which is the most appropriate name, the supreme name. And that is a Shabda of Om. And we saw the Om, the Montague Upanishad explained Om, why the sound Shabdam is taken as the Pranavam. And we saw that by the experience of life. Now, if you listen to the last one we had, our life is a collection of our experiences. Therefore, it is the living daytime experience or the dream experience or the sleeping experiences. When you integrate all them into, that is our story. But then the Upanishads showed that when you have these three experiences, you have something which is the sakshi, or on which the experiences happen, the awareness of it. And therefore, it artificially, you can say there's a fourth state, which is not a state, it's the true nature of yourself. That is called the Omkara. But we do not know this fourth state. We only have these three states of affairs. The Shruti says there is a fourth state called Atma, Turiya. And in the Upanishad, Gaudapada gave a logical explanation for that by going to the induction of how do you actually recognize the experiences. Therefore, there must be a constant awareness that looking at every experience, including deep sleep. So the last one of that Montague Upanishad slogan, we will just have a very quick look at it and then we move into the Patanjali Sutra. This is important because it will give you the understanding of what the Japam is going to take us into. So, Amatras Chaturtobhya Harya Prapanchopasavana Shivo Advaita Evam Omkara Atmaiva Samvishat Atmanatmanam Ya Evam Veda Ya Evam Veda. As I said, this Upanishad is a very crisp, only 12 verses. The 12th verse is a summation of the whole Upanishad. So the first one here, Amatras Chatur. Chaturtaha means the fourth. So the fourth state, which is not the awakening stage of the world, not the dream, not the sleep, deep sleep, but something which is beyond that, which we proved by induction that there must be a state so that it can identify the three personalities of these three experiences are one and the same. That state is amatra. Matra means a measure, a time. Amatra means it's immeasurable, silent. Because when you make a noise, you can measure that the curve starting and ending, the amplitude you can measure, the phase you can measure, the volume you can measure. Silence you cannot. So amatraha, the fourth state is silent, immeasurable. Then it says, vyavahara. Vyavahara means transactional world, empirical world, where you and I transact, we talk, we give, we get things, we lose things. All the business of activities that is happening in the dream and the deep sleep and the activities of the daily life. So nothing that, there is nothing like you are escaping from all the engagements, all the entanglements. We already see that in the deep sleep. In the deep sleep, the prapancham is not there, but we are engaged with the avidya, ignorance. Nidra vritti is still there. So even that is gone. So the fourth state is immeasurable, silent, no transaction at all. But the question therefore will come to your mind, if there's no transaction at all, then there must be nothing there to transact with. Exactly. The next sentence therefore say, next word, prapanchopasamo. So prapancha upasamaha. Upasamaha means alleviated, relieved, free of. Prapancham means panchabhutams all the five elements, gross elements, subtle elements. When the five elements create the world is prapancham. Prapancham upasamaha, free from all the world. See here, there's all the prapancham nasti is not there, because you are not involved anymore. You are away from this. You are out of this world. You are out of every world. Therefore, for you there is no world. Now there was a risk there. The Buddhists came up to this path and they said, okay, there's nothing there. Emptiness, shunyam, they kind of. No, but you are there. Amatra, Omkara is there. Atma is there. So you alone is there. That's what he says. That is Shivaha. Advaitaha. Advaita means there is nothing else. There is nothing other than you. Not nothing else. Nothing else. Not nothing. Nothing else. Nothing other than you. Advaitam. Auspiciousness. Shivaha. You see how now we come to this. Omkaram is Shivam Advaitam. Evam. That Omkaraha. But then I see the prapancham. I see all this thing happening. Why? Atma eva, the self alone. What is Atma? Omkara, because we already had the equation. Brahman is Omkaram. Atma is Brahman. Atma is Omkaram. Therefore, Atma eva here is Omkaram eva, the Omkaram itself. Samvishati. Samvishati means entering into. So the Atma itself, or the Omkara itself, entering into what? Atmana, Atmana. Atmana, the Vivekti is by or with Atma, by itself, Atmana. It becomes the self. So what it means is that the Omkara itself, by its own, becomes everything, becomes the Atma. Yeah, evam Veda, evam Veda. It concludes like this. So those who understand like this are those who understand. It's a normally paradoxical conclusion. You see a lot of such sentences in Veda, which basically means if you see, then you see, like that. Now this is the essence of this Upanishad. The Gaudapata Karika puts into 4 different chapters. The Chaturtha Amartaha, that Omkara explanation becomes Agama Prakarana. So the Agama part, Agama is the Vedas, Upanishad. So what are the Upanishad says, the 12 mantras explained in that context. But then he just takes on. He takes on because this is what is, it's so difficult to comprehend this thing. Therefore, he takes each magic word. For example, prapancha upasamha. The world is disappearing to the Atmajnani. That means that needs to be explained, mithyatvam. So he is, therefore, is giving a second prakaranam called Vaidika prakaranam. He brings about Jagat Mithya. Then the next one, Shiva Advaita. Now, if everything is Mithyatvam, the Mithyatvam needs a reference point. That is Satyam. Therefore, he has an Advaita Prakaranam. The Advaita Prakaranam talks about the Advaita knowledge. He's a Paramaguru of Shankara. He brings in so wonderful, because a Patanjali Sishya he was. Shankara's Paramaguru. So in his time, Buddhism was dominant everywhere. So he establishes this way. He brings what's called Asparsa Yoga. Sparsa means touching. Asparsa means not touching. Why is saying that the Shivam is auspicious? Why it is auspicious? It's auspicious because it is unmixed, unblemished. That's why normally you don't touch anybody. You try to be pure. In our culture, we don't even embrace, hug, unless there is a relationship like that. But here he talks about the fourth state, your real true nature is untouched. Asparsa Yoga. Now it itself is there and it itself comes out means it is not born. It is always there. Therefore, Ajadivadam. Ajadivadam is all a precursor to the Advaita Jnanam to postulate. Non-born, non-srishti, non-creation. Now the science comes back to the same thing. The Big Bang is not the starting point. Science comes back to same conclusion, that this is an ever-existing phenomena. The phenomenal is temporal. The nominal, which is underlying thing, is always existing. Anyway, I just wanted to give you the gist. So for the Omkara, when you do the Omkara Japam, the Om will go and submerged into the Amatra, in the silence. Therefore, when you do the Om, then you must be a deliberate silence. When it gives birth to Om, Samavishadi. Atma eva Samavishadi. It comes back again, comes back. So we don't say in a very fast way. So whenever you finish Om, there is a momentum pass. Om Ganeshaya Namaga. Om. You don't say Om Ganeshaya Namaga. You don't say that, because you have to give that sthanam for it. Sthiti. To do that. I that's only to bring that point. I brought this one because I'm not interested to go in the detail of this Upanishad right now. But the Ucharanam of Om in the Japam has to therefore have these 4 states. But you don't say A-U-M, but it is Santiviti. So Om. Then you stop there. Okay, now we go to the Patanjali's next one. Okay, I got the name now. I know Ishvara Pranidhanam. I will worship Ishvara. I know to worship Ishvara. I've given a name, Om. You also allowed me that if I am not able to focus on Om, I can say my Ishta Devata. I can say Om Krishna or Om Shiva, Om Saraswati or whatever. But let's just stick with Om right now. So how do you worship this Om? So he says, Tat Jabastha Artha Bhavanam. Tat Jabastha Artha Bhavanam. So it's a very simple one. Tat Japaha. So he says, okay, to worship this Ishvara, you must do Japam. Japam means, it comes from the root word Jap. Jap means to repeat. Repeat what? Repeat Ishvara's name. What is the name? Om. Of course, you can have other names, but Om. Why the name? What is it? So, one comment came from the last week's one from someone which says, I said, summon the gods. You should have pranidhanam. How can you summon the god? You cannot summon the god. Of course, you can summon the god. If I call you, say, Dr. Mani or Balamama or Raj, if you call, you turn back. He's not. So the name has an impact on you because the name is an identity of one. When the name is assigned, the calling that name, see, if I am abusing a named person right now, when the named person is not there, nobody is offended by that. Maybe they may think bad about me, but they won't get offended because that name does not belong to them. The moment, therefore, there is a saptat sambandha, the name is important. Therefore, yes, you can call the name. They will respond. That's what the name is for. If you don't respond, what do? You shout. Hey, Ramesh, second time, Ramesh, shout again to get his attention off. Or you plead, oh, Ramesh, please, Ramesh. So therefore, when Shruti says Ishvara's name is Om, the very reason it gives you the name for the nameless God is that therefore you can call him. You can make your plea to him. Well, I don't have Ishvara's faith. I'm an atheist. I'm not a God-fearing man. What name I should do? Well, you are in a tough luck, but I think again the merciful gurus give you, okay, what do you believe in? You believe in yourself. If you say I don't believe in my existence, then you are doomed. You take a long time to come back to this class. But you say, yeah, I believe in myself. I don't want Om or Rama, Krishna, Shiva. Well, if you believe in yourself, you got a name? Yeah. What's the name? Raja. Well, there are so many people with the name. What is your unique name? Unique name? I don't have. Just I. I said, fine. Use that I. Aham. So then you have to go to the Aga-upasana, Atma-upasana, Atma-nivedanam. That's also fine. Why? Because we already equated Atma is Omkara. That's the reason why I brought the Upanishad into picture. So even though you're an unbeliever, you don't want to go particular God, particular religion, but how do I take this japam? You take the japam on yourself. But it makes it easier when you have, even the Advaitis, even I am a Brahman, I am the Atma, but even then, I would say, for this empirical world, I would really take that power and put outside somewhere and seek its grace. So therefore, don't have any doubt about, if the name is not coming, why God is not coming to us when you call. I call Krishna, but it's not Krishna, it's not coming. I see the stories of, great devotees who worshipped and then their gods come to them. That means all these years, is nobody's worth devotion? Is that the way it is? It's not that. See, truth can be only one. So when you have the truth removed and you have an illusion on as a truth for yourself, truth will say, thank you very much. I will come back to you when you really need me. So what do we have in our mind all the time? We have Bhranti Darshana. We have a different philosophy, different ideas in our mind. What is truth? A simple example will make it clear. So, what is a very famous example in Vedanta? We take snake and rope, right? Yes, a rope is there and you see it as a snake. Suppose you are looking for the rope and it so happened the rope is there, but it is appearing as a snake. Would you ever, and you believe it is a snake? Snake is a truth for you. you will never find the rope. There is no better place to hide the rope. If you put in a bureau or in a cupboard, you will find it. But here you will not, because you have taken the truth of rope to be a snake. When the truth has been taken as a Brahma, not Brahma, a wrong notion, then Satyam will say, I'll hide myself. So therefore, in all our calling the Ishvara, we are not put ourselves. The truth is that calling I make is going to come. When that calling is there, he comes to you. Well, when I call and comes to me, can my wife and children see them? If they are blessed, otherwise they will not. Because they didn't call them. It is my locum. Therefore, I remove the doubt that you had in mind, the question I raised, and I posted a doubt in your mind that maybe God will never come in this world. It's Kali Kalam, they say. No. He comes when you call. He gives darshan to you. He guides you, he directs you. But it's only to you, because lokam is lokaha, your experience. It is very important in Vedanta and in Atma Vidya. You are the center. It is for your own progress. Of course, when it's not being selfish, it is the absolute selflessness, because when you do that, Ishvara Pranidhanam, Ishvara means what? Omniscient, omnipresent. Naturally, you do for everybody else. Okay, I'm just digressing. So, therefore, don't have a doubt about summoning the Ishvara's name. Yes, we should summon it. That's why we have bhakti. And there are so many steps in bhakti. I mean, you all know this, but I just wanted to remind you on different stages of bhakti and where we are bringing the japa. So you have Shravana. You listen. I don't know slogam. I don't know God's name. What do? Just go to those places, satsang, and just listen. Shravanam. Because Shravanam will create a calling later. Then you do Kirtanam. You heard it. You don't understand the words. Then you sing it. Or join them. Bhajans, bhakti. When you are in there are a lot of great, Balamama, others are there, great singers. When they sing, you don't need to understand the meaning of it. You just listen. It makes you feel blissful, right? Bhakti, that's the step, Kirtana. Then you contemplate. You don't forget it. I listen to this sloga, I listen to this bhajan, listen to this prarthana. If you forget it, then I think it's gone. That vritti has to be there. Smarana. Think about it, think about it, think about it. Because when you think about it, it becomes more internalized. Then you say, okay, now I'm getting more into this. I really do go and do service to God. Service to God-man. Service to great people, acharyas. Pada sevana. You know why? Because when you do this sevanam, when you do this your ego goes away. You see, ego is the one which manipulates you and then push you, okay, forget about it. This is a fine song, but what is he singing? I seen MS Subbulakshmi song. It's great. This is ego. It's not a question of who sings better. In that time frame, listening to that bhajan, does it make you blissful? But ego will come, oh, this is that ragam, this is the talam, this is going down. So to remove all that, you do pada sevana. Dhanyavad. Then you do vandanas, your prayers, timely vandanas, worship, namaskaras. Again, all this is to remove your ego. See, you are not called God yet. Okay, Kirtana, you call them, but you really did not make the summoning to God yet. Then the vandana become dasya. You don't need, you see the presence of God, you become dasya. Okay, I am perfectly surrendered to God. So God is happy with you, but he's still waiting for you to call him. Some take it a little further. This relationship becomes more loving, fraternal, shringaram. You can see God as a friend, your mother, your lover, your child. To express your Shravanam, Kirtanam, Sevanam, Vandanam, you make the God to appear in a certain way. All that is good. All that is making you better and better and better and better. But finally, as Narada says, it is the Atma Nivedanam. Atma Nivedanam means what? Here the Atma is the self, the ego. Not that Satchidananda Swarupam. You don't Nivedanam. That is what you Nivedanam to. You submit to. But this is the self, my identity, my notion, who I am, my personality. I am just going to give it to the God. We don't do that at all. You think about, at least I don't do it. And I'm told every time I go and pray and say, God, give me that, and maybe let the pain on my knee go. The COVID doesn't come to me, and let my children get married, I get more money. By the way, if I do all this, I'll come and give you some money back. Thank you very much. And we do this many Vartana, and then we perform Radha Kalyanam, Sita Kalyanam, and celebrate, bring joy. God is waiting. Okay, all that you do to present myself, God is thinking, to present myself, I must. So he thinks I am the best. So I give my best to him until he gives the best to me. God doesn't give you anything free. Dharma, karma bala datta. So we have to give our best, the best that we possess. Always don't want to give up. What is that we don't want to give up? Abhinivesam. The extreme desire not to give up is our identity. People get offended. Your name is mispronounced. How can you pronounce my name wrong? Ego comes in. When you give that one, God says, he has given to me. I had to go back to him. So that's why the Atma Nivedanam creates japa. Now, all this I do not know. I do not know the mantrams. I do not know kirtana. I cannot sing. I can't even put in a proper prayer. I can't even go and ask God what I need. But I have no ego. I want to just surrender myself to God. What do? Nama Japam. Here you're talking about the Omkara Japam. Let's take Nama Japam, Rama Japam, Krishna Japam, Shivanama Japam, Hanuman Japam. Whatever God you want to have, do Nama Japam. So there must be a Nama. Nama is a Shabda. But Shabda has got a Artha. If it is no Artha, it is not a Nama anymore. It becomes a Dwani. So there's an Artham, Shabdam is there. You have a form in mind and take the form and say the name. Vachikam. Krishna, 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 Rama, 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 Shiva, 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 Shiva. Shiva means Shivam, Shiva is Shakti. Some say Shiva, 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 Shiva. So you say loudly. Why loudly? Because how do you call? All these gods, let me give you another way to understand this one. Every power in your body is a devata. Let's not worry about the Parabrahman to call now. My Vak Shakti, my walking Shakti, my seeing Shakti. Everything is a Shakti. You see, some people you see, when they speak, they're educated. When they speak, it doesn't really, there's no gravitas. Yeah? No fault of them. But somebody else speaks, there's some gravitas. It has nothing to do with knowledge. It is the Vak Shakti, for example. Devata there is Pranidhanam. The Devata is present. So therefore, if you don't call, they sleep. So therefore, what Dharma says is that, like you wake up a sleeping person, you call them, Ramesh, Ramesh, like that. You call them Rama, 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 Rama. So I think the first step, therefore, is to pronounce the names loudly. Of course, you feel shy when you talk about it, so you sit in a room, you do that, so that your mouth can see, when you thought becomes the words, right? So when you dare the Nama, Rama, 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 when you say, it's not coming from the mouth, it's Vaikari, then it goes Madhyama, Para, Chinti. So the whole body vibrates slowly when you do it in a proper way. It's a magic. Then the sound is reduced. Upamshu means just the lips move. I know that I'm saying Rama, but you don't hear it. But you can see my lips are moving. This is a very deliberate step. This step is important because it is giving an exercise to control the expression of that particular sensory object. In this case is speech. Then you do the manasa. Now I don't need to sound it. I don't need to say it. The Rama can be in my mind. Higher that, the superior thing is to going towards mental japa. You can also do likita japa. People write Sri Rama Jam in the notebook, right? But you write Sri Ram Jam, Sri Ram Jam, Sri Ram Jam, then look at the television. Can you please change to channel 4? Then Sri Ram Jam, Sri Ram Jam. Doesn't help. What is it for? So therefore, when you do the likita japam, when you're writing, doing japam, say it. Do Vachikam Sri Rama Jayam, Sri Rama Jayam, Sri Rama Jayam, or Upamsham Sri Rama Jayam, or Manasam. So all this you do to really bring. Would it really help? I tell you one example is there. It varies in sampradayam to sampradayam. In one particular tarpana vidhi, for example, when you do tarpanas, is basically a water-based offering to the ancestors. You do. So you have to clean up the place. You take the darpagrass and then you say a particular mantra and clean the place. That mantra's meaning is it's calling by name the merchants of death, the Yamadutas, and telling them, hey Yamadutas, this place, this time, or allocated for me to do Pitur Tarpanam. Therefore, please evacuate. Don't come. It's amazing insight. Like Yoga Vadishtam, Rama is told, death is always with us. Death is our permanent companion. The moment Janma is there, Maranam is there, he is always with us. He's just holding our hand, invisible hand, he's holding it. So someday he will safely take us away. But he is a nuisance because right now I don't want him to hold my hand. I need to do Tarpanam. Therefore, I tell them, go away. Which means the power of that Tarpana mantram is so good. That means when you do Tarpanam, you won't die. So you cannot have excuse, no, I'm having fever, I can't get up. I said, come on. If you can say that you're having fever, that means you're good enough to say the mantra. Unless you are in a coma, that's fine. That's a different thing. So therefore, there is no excuse at all. Not have to be done, have to be done. Okay. That's a subtle message, but I think come back to this thing. So Nama Jupam is therefore a very important part. So therefore, you believe in it. You do that. And this can be done by anybody, anytime, all the time. Can I do Rama Japam or Shivanama Japam in my mind when I'm having a shower? Yeah, don't say it in the mouth, but say in Manasa. When I am going to bed, yes. When I am traveling the train, yes. When I'm eating, yes. When I'm breathing, yes, all the time. See, the japam is called Purascharana. Purascharana means, like Balaji quotes Madhusudan Saraswati very often. Madhusudan Saraswati is one of the great example of Nama Japam, because his life is very difficult. Okay, I don't want to go into the story, but so he gone through many religion, many schools of thought and Advaitam and everything, and he's doing a pravachanam in Kashi. And in the front, he put seats of scholars who can come and debate, because, Atma Nivedana has not happened to him yet. So he's a scholarly person. So he will put the seats in the front, and anybody comes there, sits there, they can argue with him, and he will win them over, kind of a thing. And one day, an Abadut comes in, a Darshana sannyasi comes in, and without even asking permission, he comes and sits there. Everybody is worried, what's this guy doing? And so he looks at him and called him Madhusudan. And the moment he called him by the name, and he knows that he's a Mahatma, and he says, are you wasting all your understanding of this Vedanta by asking for vain arguments and proving your case and getting a glory? Is that what you want to do? Is that what the Advaita Jnanam's palam? And at the moment he says no. Then he gives him Ishwaranama, but because he has been in the Purva Ashramam, he was a Krishna Bhakta. He sees the Avadhuta as a Krishna. And he takes the Krishna's Namam and he do Purascharana. Purascharana means you do this thing in so many times. If you take Gayatri Mantra, there are 24 letters, and therefore 24 lakhs you do this. So he did this not only one Purascharana, 17 times. I mean 17 lakhs times you recited the name of the God and so on and so forth to get his power. So for us, it's simple lesson is that Nama Japam is important. Any God, any devotee, any Ishta Devata, Kula Devata, or if there is a Guru for you and the Guru has given you the Nama, you always meditate. We breathe roughly 21,600 times a day. Patanjali is going to say later, that is when you do the Japam, your breathing and your Dhyanam, Japam should be synchronized. So if you do every breathing one Namam, 21,000 Namams, at least 21 namas in a day, we should say. Yeah. There is also something called mantra japam. So mantra japam is different from the nama japam. With the nama japam, you can say any times, all the time. There's no right or wrong in nama japam because it gets accumulated. But mantra japam is slightly different. Mantra japam, mantras are like, polished Japanese knife swords, ninja swords, right? And it is in a cover. So when you take it out and then you do it, and you may just hurt yourself. So you need to really follow mantra japams in a particular way, and therefore you need a guru to give you the mantra japam, or the parents, or someone. The parent is whoever is giving you is the guru to you, and the difference in mantra japa and nama japa is in the mantra japam may not have namas, may have namas, may not have namas. Om Namo Narayana is a mantra. There is a name there. Om Klim Klaum is a mantra. There is no name there. Shabdam is there. So depending on the mantra's veracity, potency, things may change. Without going in detail, I mean, mantra japam, to do mantra japam, you need to have a niyamam. Actually, the meaning Puraschara means actually doing properly. And we take it as a punarucharanam, but not repeated mantra. But every mantra japam should be Purascharana. Do properly. Because you imagine, when you call Omkara is a mantra, for example, you take Omkara as a mantra. We just now said God is the Omkara. And we said we are calling the God. Therefore, we have a name for God. It's Om. Therefore, when he comes as an embodiment, right? Body means there is a Anga, Angis are there. For example, I tell you, guys, come to this lecture. You only need to listen. Therefore, please send your ears only to the lecture. Can you do it? No. Air is part of your stuff. Or even a better example, I say, well, I have this Upanishad class next Friday, 6 o'clock in the evening. Please come. Don't bring your wife. Only you guys, men come. Why? Would you be happy to come? The Dr. Mani say, no, I would not. I will always travel with my wife. So you don't really isolate a part of it. So mantra is like that. Mantras comes with an embodiment, an angas, called Shaptangas. There are 6 parts to the mantra. First part is the mantra. Who identified the mantra? Who is the seer? It's a rishi. Then the mantra has to be pronounced Vachikam Upamshu. Therefore, there must be some letter Shabdam. It's called Chandas. Rishi Chandas. And what is this mantra about? Who is the Devata? So this is Devata, the third part. So the mantram comes, all these 3 have to come. No, you remember that ears won't come. Ears plus the body will come. Then the 4th part. So what I got 3 parts now, right? Rishi, Chantas, Devata. Then the Bijam. Bijam is, where is all this mantra power residing before? In this little seed. And it will go back to the seed. Moolam, the Bijam. So the Bijam has to come. And the Bijam, when it creates the potency out, is the Shakti. So, Rishi, Chantas, Devata, Bijam, Shakti. The 5 part. The last part, all these are, how are they? Are they standing aside separately? No. They're all tied up in a little knot. Therefore, to bring them out, only when they come out, they can give you the power of the mantra. So you need to, what do you have to do? Untie this knot. Like a password you have to enter into the hall, into the house, the pin code. That is called Keelakam. The Keelakam is the knot code which ties up all this together. You need to open up the Keelakam. Oh, nobody told me this, you say. No, it's been told in every mantra. When you do Sandhya Vandana, you say, in the puja, you will say, Rishi, Chantas, Devada, Bijam goes to your bottom, Shakti goes to your padam, Keelakam goes to your arms. This kind of distributing them to different parts called Vinyogam. Yoga means joining. Viyoga means, Viyoga means distribution. So Vinyoga means distributing them. So you do this. Rishi, the Paramatma Devada, you do that one. You all know these mantras. So next time when you do, you imagine this one. These are very important. You don't just don't do it like this. Because if you're inviting somebody home, when they're coming like with the family like this, you need to give them seats. You do that. Once it is there, then mantra japa, what they do, there are other things. There are, for each mantra has got different thing. That's called nyasam. Nyasa means niya. Nyasa means to place, to propel, to keep, sthiti. Anganyasam, karanyasam. You say, they do this one this way. Without telling mantra, I'm telling you this. So do this. Yes. This is a karanyasam. Anganyasam, like this. Shirasteva, like that. You do. You say sthiti-nasam. Prajna brahmadishtadu. Hastayor harastishtadu. You say that in Rudram, tishtadu. You be there. Called sthiti-nyasam. So there are, for each mantras, therefore, all mantras will have this Shat Angi, 6 Angam, Vinyogam. There are some Nyasam. Then you do this mantra japam. It's a Gayatri mantra, or is it a Shiva mantra, or Panchaksha mantra, or Namak Shivaya mantra, or Namo Narayanaya mantra. Whatever mantra is, you say that. But this you say in a specific place. You know why? Because this is, to bring more reverence to it. So you can do Nama Japam all the time, but Mantra Japam you do it 2 times, 3 times. Of course, you can do all the time, but knowing us, so we can at least specifically at time, at least do once a week. Yeah, please. So you do this, take up a mantra from the gurus, and then you do Mantra Japam, you do that. Okay, so what else you need to know from this? Okay, if I do all this Mantra Japam and everything, what is a benefit for me? He says, benefit will come if you do this japa with the meaning understood. Tadhartha. Therefore, it's not enough to just repeat the name, but I must have the meaning. What is a meaning? Rama, there is no meaning. Yes, there is a meaning. Rama, of course, signifies the Ramachandra Murti. Therefore, the first artham comes to us is the Rama Swarupam. But then we know Rama means the Kalyana Gunas of Ramas, the Dharma Chintana comes through. There is a Tattvartham. Ra means the Parabrahmam, Ma means the Maya Shakti or Purusha Prakriti. So when I say Rama, I am worshipping Purusha and Prakriti, Parashakti. Therefore, even though I say Rama, 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 I know that every Rama is not just the Rama's figure, but it's Artha also. But when I do that, sometimes my mind will go away from this. Well, it will go away, it doesn't matter. That's why it's called Dhyanam. See, Dhyanam is a stepped japa. And I'll also tell you later how the japam becomes a Dhyanam. When you get a dharana, we'll come to that later. So therefore you have the artham and the japam. How do I do that? Do I contemplate in the intellectual thinking? No, you absorb them. You create a bhavana. Because japam is not a time for intellectual mananam. It is about having an attitude, absorption. You become absorbed in that. In whatever the meaning of it, you become one with the meaning of it. It will happen. Because the repetitive thing, a child when they sleep, you say, I remember my child when she was saying, my wife would say, and then it'll sleep. And when she's not doing it, the child will say the same thing. Because, why? Because it's absorbed in the sound. Nothing else exists for the prapancham for her. For her, this sound, this 7 notes that goes, rhythmically is absorbed. So you have become absorbed in the sound, then you will hear Rama Shabdam everywhere. So that absorption is needed. So when you do all that, then you become pure. Ishvara Pradhanam is achieved. Now, how do I know that this is giving me benefits? I do all this, it gives me peace of mind. But can I really see? Because I took this Ishvara Pranidhanam from you because you said, as a response to my question, that my Abhyasa Vairagyam is not standing up to scrutiny, to strengthen that so that I can go back to my Yoga Abhyasam and have a Chitta Vritti Nirodham. I am finding myself in a weak position, and you said, take the Ishvara Japam. how do I know that this is actually helping me to achieve this? To know that, you should know what will happen if you don't have these things, or what are the impediments that you have when you do this japa. So this is very simple one, the big sutra. This is the next one. So we will see what this is. So how long I'll take? Okay, I'll finish this one and then I will stop it there. So he says the benefit is tada pratyak chetnati kamot andaraya abhavascha. Tata. So tata. Through that. Through what? Through the Omkara Japam. Through the Ishvara Pranidhanam. Through the meditation with the Ishvara's name. If you do that, Pratyak Chetana. Chetana means the awareness. Pratyak Chetana. Always you see in front of it. Your consciousness is always going towards the front of it. But what happened to that? Adhigamaha. That consciousness, that is what is going out and seeing everything else outside, is gained. That means you are able to really get your awareness focused on your inwardness. So you must take this together. Pratyak Chetana Adhigamaha. My ever-expanding awareness is turned inwards. In other words, I start realizing my true nature. So that's the first benefit I get. You can only experience it. And also, or maybe as a result of this, antaraya, antarayam is a technical word which means impediments. The impediments that you may have, the troubles that you may have in your sadhana, abhavaha, are removed. So he says, if you ask for the benefits of the Omkara Upasana or the Japa, the benefit is your wandering mind, the power of the wandering mind is because of the consciousness that is spread out, is captured, internally turned, and start realizing yourself, your full potency. And also, and you can also add to this, and also as the benefit of that, the impediments that you will have in your sadhanas are removed. Now, you go back to your first question, because the reason why we brought Ishvara into our picture, because we were afraid of impediments. I am asked to sit down and do meditate, Chitta Vritti Nirodham, Samadhi. Well, I can't really sit down. My knee will hurt. My job, I'm traveling all the time, and my mind is not strong. There's so many things that we worried us, and therefore we say, look, how can I actually got over this? And then therefore he said, take Ishvara. Then we gone through the Ishvara understanding, and we say the best thing is to do the Nama Japam, or if you advance Mantra Japam of the Omkara with Ishtadevada added. Now, before we start, we are having a final confirmation from the teacher. Believe me, if you do this, you will start looking your internal self. That will give you a power, and that power will remove the impediments. Now, I will stop it now. In the next sutra, we will go through what the impediments are actually, and then you can check with your checklist what you have in your mind, see if it tallies. Then what it means is that bring it on. I don't worry about all the impediments, because instead of addressing each of the impediments one by one, I'm going to do this magic wand, which says Ishvara Pranidhanam. I'm going to bring Ishvara into my life by doing japa. And here is the Patanjali's promissory note that if I do the japa, my impediments will be gone. So with that positive note, I will stop it here. The next class, we will look at the impediments, and then how this thing removes those impediments. So let's say the Shanti Padam. Om
Om
Ashadoma Satgamaya
Asatoma Satgamaya
Amasoma Jyotirgamaya
Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya
Vityoma Amridam Gamaya
Mrityoma Amritamgamaya
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om
Om
Shanti
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 Shanti.
Shanti.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.